Purple Power. Tonight, we look back on last night and we look back on the last few months of what Purple Power achieved and the focus going forward. Tonight, renewed optimism as stimulus is back on front burner. Mitch McConnell is putting it for a vote in the next couple days and everything is going to get rewritten. This is what I prepared you for. Purple Power Caucus, Purple Power MSC, multiple stimulus checks, getting the narrative out because it's not a one-person narrative anymore. It's not her way or the highway. It's the road to the toad. They need change, and we are the change. And this is Purple Power. Hey, good evening, everybody. Hope you're good and safe. This is Purple Power. If you're new to this recording, this is the recording that goes over the spirit and the push to get stimulus changes and changes across the board, whether it's check or package, as negotiations unfold in the second stimulus package deal. I'm so excited you join me tonight because there is renewed optimism, there's incredible progress, and there's incredible breaking news all across the board tonight. So it's a great evening. If you're not subscribed, go to the Fun's channel, subscribe, and also hit that alert button so you get an alert when a new video goes live. In this video, I'll be going over what the Purple Power needs to do right now that we have a little bit more clarity of what's unfolding. Second, I'll go over how we prepared for this about a week ago. Third, I'll go over renewed optimism and focusing on positivity. And finally, fourth, I'll focus on how to detract yourself and avoid getting into pitfalls of negativity. All right, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is that Cease for Stimulus worked. The original hashtag of the Purple Power, which I created about a month ago, had an initial hashtag after LALATE read the bill, which was Cease for Stimulus, and that was categorically a win overnight in the election results. Senate Republicans, Senate Democrats, House Republicans, House Democrats, incumbents across the board lost their seat because their inability to provide stimulus. And that was what we had urged. Then, what's ironic is that the Republicans who had urged for problem solvers bipartisan relief got re-elected more than those that did not. And finally, those Democrats that thought they could give you much of nothing and sit behind the Temple of Doom and have her do the narrative for them lost seats in the House of Representatives. So as we sit here tonight, the impact of the Purple Power was certainly felt last night. And this morning, it may have been felt in a bigger way. That was when Mitch McConnell announced that he is opening stimulus for a vote in the next few days. As soon as the Senate gets back into session, which is just a few days ago, he says the number one priority and the only priority is getting stimulus relief out. And he says it's going to be conciliatory, it's going to be it will be negotiated, and it'll be reasonable, and it'll be fast. It will come to Americans in their hands right away. What's important to understand is Mitch McConnell's terms and the words that he used. First, he reflected on the inability of Nancy Pelosi to ever negotiate. Since the month of May, Nancy Pelosi has never moved $1 on any of the deal provisions. It's categorically ridiculous. And as we sit here tonight, it didn't work. It didn't work. So her way, the highway, is literally on the side of the road. So first, she'll have to negotiate. Second, Mitch McConnell's making very clear that we're starting from scratch. So we will not be dealing with anything we have dealt before. So it's important to focus your mindset and understand we are open. We are a brand new entree. We are not the prior leftovers for the last 3 months. We're starting anew. And so we're not saying, hey, she'll reject it. You know, the usual expressions of negativity that we've seen. She'll reject it. It's not in her bill. It's not what she wants. Guess what? That's not working anymore because she didn't win the Senate. If you don't know what's going on tonight, the Senate was won by the Republicans by most accounts. The Senate will remain Republican. So Nancy Pelosi has to make modifications. She can't say her way or the highway. Moreover, she can't say who she wants to negotiate with and who she doesn't. Mitch McConnell, perhaps by tomorrow morning, may be the number one Republican in Washington. That is because most indicators tonight suggest that Joe Biden has the easiest path to 270. If that's true and Joe Biden is your president, ultimately Nancy Pelosi has to negotiate with Mitch McConnell. In May, she said she would not negotiate with him. That's sort of the narrative of anti-purple power. I'm going to tell you I'm going to negotiate with. If it's that person, I'm not. If it's not that person, I'm not going to talk to him. Don't come to my door. We've seen all this and above. That's ending tonight. The thing of not talking to Mark Meadows because I don't like it, ending tonight. The thing about not talking to the problem solvers, ending tonight. The thing about the problem solvers coming to the door and wanting to speak to Nancy Pelosi, ending tonight. It's a whole renewed optimism. And what's incredibly great news is that everything that you deserve, everything that you want, everything that you are owed, you can be very loud and vocal because it worked before and it's going to work really well now. Hashtag MSC, multiple stimulus checks, bigger stimulus checks, hazard pay, FPUC, PEUC. There's so many things you got to remember, and a lot of things I don't record on every video, and I don't want to make it sound like that thing is less important because I don't record on it. It's just because I don't want the videos to go 40 minutes late. But there's things that are very important. A lot of things are just expiring in less than 4 weeks from now. In late December, there is literally this much stuff that's expiring, and you can't have that happen. I mean, you just absolutely cannot. Eviction moratoriums expiring, mortgage forbearance, student loan debt moratorium, PEUC, FPUA, all these things are expiring in a few weeks. And, these are elder statesmen and they may forget. So as us younger people, we have to remind them, hello, Grandpa, you need to know that eviction moratoriums expired in a few weeks. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's that thing that we're on the street because you didn't, you got to get that to, okay, I'll take a look at that. And so ultimately remind them and be Captain Obvious because sometimes they just simply forget because they're really overworked. They were working really last night at the cocktail bar after they celebrated their wins. But, the thing is that we have to push loud and focus. And so this is the incredible spirit of the Purple Power. Next, Jerome Powell will be testifying before members of Congress twice, tomorrow and the day after. And that testimony is going to be so incredibly important because he's going to say that you need stimulus and needs to go out and needs to land in the hands of American people. He's going to be very vocal about it. He said it before, and he's going to say it even louder tomorrow. What's better tomorrow than every time before is that the politics of the country are settled down now that we're out of an election, and that Jerome Powell can speak more freely and say, get it done, folks. Then we are starting to see more about COVID-19 cases, and Jerome Powell have a little bit of impact on that, on understanding what we talked last night on the live chat: price inflation, price gouging, price escalation, all those things that you're seeing across the board. These are all impact for your stimulus checks. How much stimulus checks? When should they arrive? PUA, FPUC, how much PUA, hazard pay, EIDL grants. All this money needs to be pushed. If you're new to this channel, if you're new to the Purple Power, go on social media and do the following hashtags. Hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power check, hashtag Purple Power FPUC, hashtag Purple Power hazard pay. And get it very, very loud and clear because our pushes are very, very loud. There's no one really out there, and I don't often say this. Actually, I don't think I've ever said this because I don't want to sound gloating or anything, but it's us. I mean, sort of how do you gloat for other people? It's that, it doesn't even work that way. But I just don't want to sound gloating, is that no one does what we do. No one is this type of grassroots efforts of economic pushing anywhere on social media. I don't see anything like this. So you have to understand that people aren't used to seeing something like the Purple Power, and that's a good thing. And so keep it up. Now, let me turn to positivity and also turn to negativity with some personal messages. First, positivity. It's important to understand that we remain positive, and there's a couple of things that we have gone through in the last few months, and I want you to deal with them accordingly. First, we've been treated a certain way by politicians, whether it's Steve Mnuchin saying there's a deal tomorrow, Mark Meadows saying there's a deal tomorrow, or Nancy Pelosi saying it's imminent 9,000 times, or being told you're going to be behind an airlines bill after you've been waiting for your stimulus check. All this stuff. What I want you to do is, in a way, not forget it, but I don't want it to overcloud your mindset, because some people will want to sit back and say, oh, well, it's the same thing it was in May. It's the same thing it was in June. I want to explain to you positivity and negativity. Being positive does not mean you're going to forget what happened, but it also has to remain that this is a new moment. This is a new country starting tomorrow morning, because now we know that this is the balance of power from the House and the Senate. And so everything that you've endured before is not indicative that's going to be endured again. And so I don't want you to dwell on the past. I don't want you to forget it, but I don't want you to dwell on it. That's the first thing. Second, positivity breeds creativity. And the more you talk about what you need, the better you are pushing to getting that done. Not talking about what you need and talking about, well, they didn't do this and well, they didn't do that. That doesn't help you get from point A to point B. It talks about complaining. Now, let me talk about negativity, because I don't often address negativity on this channel too much, obviously, because it's the Purple Power, but I do want to address it on a personal level. First, if you are one of the people who posts, let me back up. On the channel, there are ways to delete comments, and there are ways to block users from ever commenting again. And I don't often talk about this on the channel, but I think it's important for you to understand your mindset going forward. If you're one of the people that posts a comment like, I don't believe it until it gets in my hands, be informed that actually that expression is blocked on the channel. So you can actually not even post that type of sentence. It's a very common phrase that negative nannies want to say. I don't believe anything that Mitch said until it gets in my hands. And I don't believe anything he says until it gets in my hands. I don't know where this gets in my hands thing came from. It's just very weird. But that expression, gets in my hands, or it lands, I don't believe him until it lands in my bank account. Those expressions are blocked on this channel. So please, if you are that type of person and that's all you have to contribute on this channel, you may want to go somewhere elsewhere, because we don't talk that way here. We don't say, I don't believe it, unless, because needless to say, there's 500 people in Congress, and there's about 5 people or 10 people in a cabinet of a presidency, and then there's, the Supreme Court. If you don't believe anyone, then who are you going to believe? It's very easy to sit back. You don't believe anyone in Congress. Yeah, we can just do a whole channel on, I don't believe anyone. Guess who you don't believe tonight? Yes, I don't believe anyone. So that's not the spirit of this channel. So if your contribution to this channel is, I don't believe anyone, you might want to go somewhere else. That's the first thing I gotta say. Second is, if your contribution is, I was told by Mitch a lie before, and hence he's lying again, that also is not a contribution to this channel, and it's not a contribution to the mindset of this channel, because ultimately, we all know we've been lied to. It's not like you're telling us and we don't know this. It's like, do you not know you've been lied to by Mitch McConnell? Yeah, we know we've been lied to. Do you know that Steve Mnuchin lied to you? Yeah, we know it. But do you have to repeat it all the time? No. It's it's sort of like, Captain Negative Captain Obvious has to walk through the room every night, just wave and say, we were lied to by Mitch McConnell again. Hence, no. So that type of talking doesn't really get you anywhere in life, especially when the fact that there is no other Congress to choose. This is the Congress. This, folks, is your Congress. So there's not like another Congress you could choose. If you don't like this Congress, you have to wait a couple more years to get another one. So here we are. This is who you got. Next, when people say things like, I don't believe it until, that is not a very positive remark about anything in life. It's not a positive remark about the person who delivered you the remark or a positive remark about the congressman who said the remark. So when Mitch McConnell says we're going to make a top priority next week, stimulus, I don't believe it until. Okay, well, that's nice that you don't believe it until, but the man just made a representation and he's an elected official. And ultimately, if your contribution to life is saying everything is negative about everyone else, then that doesn't breed anything positive. You see how last night in a 4.5 hour chat, how much fun we had. We absolutely had fun because we got from point A, which was minute number 1, to point B, which was 4.5 hours later, and we just had a ball. And in that night, I said throughout the night, if you want to support your candidate, please be very loud and vocal. Cheer on whoever you want to cheer on and do it throughout the night. And everyone did. Everyone cheered on their candidate. And it was an absolute free form, no holds bar, lots of fun. Now, let me show you the reverse of that. There were a few people dropping comments today that I fully expected. I want to address them that said something like, nothing will happen under that president because he's a criminal. Okay. Well, first of all, they're not a criminal because they're the president. So you're not committing a crime when you're the president, unless you're, in 1920s Eastern Bloc, wherever, and you're indicted on war crimes. But in the United States, it's not good to contribute to the comments of a channel where we're focusing on what the president does and doesn't do. He's never going to do anything. He's a criminal. It's just, thank you so much. That is not the spirit of this channel either. So whereas it's great to cheer for your person, on the other hand, it's not great to call the other people criminals. It's just like, okay, let's just cut that down. The reason why I bring that up is because of what I talked about in last night's recording, which is election stress. A lot of people have election stress. They're upset that their candidate did not win. And ultimately, some people take out election stress by calling the other candidate names. Not just saying they don't like them or they're not going to help the economy, but calling them yeah. And so that doesn't help you either. So it's important to keep yourself positive, keep yourself focused, and keep the narrative on what you are looking for. Finally, I want to thank everyone for such an incredible night last night. And it showed that we can talk about a lot of stuff. We talked about everything last night. And we talked very little bit about stimulus. I mean, we literally talked about everything. And as this channel grows, I may talk about other stuff. And I really appreciate, it could be about eggs and pancakes. It could be about Black Friday sales. It could be about a new, crock pot that came out that's on sale. It could be about anything. And I want to embrace the creativity of the viewers to embrace and discuss lots of things, because last night you showed your creativity with incredible comments, incredible jokes, incredible insight. And it showed that you really have a very smart say about a lot of subjects, more subjects than I have covered on this channel. And that's why I'll expand the breadth and hope you follow me as we expand the breadth. Ultimately, it's important to understand that this has never been a one subject channel. It never has been. That's the reason why there's 5 hours of programming. And so as we expand the breadth, I hope you enjoy what's entertaining and you find comfort in what is delivered, and you enjoy the message as this grows with your family. With that, my deepest wishes to one viewer of this family who lost her father last night. Meantime, join me tomorrow morning for Early Mornings LALATE at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6:30 a.m. For the second half of the broadcast. That's again 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Early Mornings LA. Go to the front channel, subscribe if you've not. Also, like this video, and have a great evening. Take care.